In a land where the strong rule, the name Hyokyon Mugong resonates with fear and respect. The leader of the Dark Heaven sect, he is known for his unmatched power and merciless ambition. As Mugong contemplates his life, he questions the judgment of others. Have I truly been such a thorn in their side? He wonders, reflecting on his actions and the reputation he has garnered. 3 years ago, Mugong decimated the heads of the Martial Alliance and the 5 clans. His brutal efficiency ensured his supremacy and cemented his position as a feared leader. Mugong's rise to power was marked by relentless destruction. He set fire to the temples of his enemies, leaving behind a trail of ashes and proving his dominance. Despite his ruthless actions, Mugong defends his choices. I only fought because they drew their swords first, he claims. His life has been one of constant defense against those who sought to destroy him. Mugong's battles were fierce, and his reputation grew with each victory. Even when outnumbered, he stood his ground, ensuring that his name would be remembered for generations. Reflecting on his past, Mugong finds irony in his situation. Don't you think that's hilarious? He muses. His enemies, who labeled him a villain, were the ones who instigated the conflicts. As he grows older, Mugong begins to see the futility of his endless battles. He feels a mix of regret and anger, understanding the hypocrisy of those who branded him evil. On his deathbed, Mugong is haunted by memories of his disciples and family. Where is Cheonwoo Myung? He wonders, longing to see his most trusted pupil one last time. Mugong yearns for the presence of Cheonwoo Myung, who is out searching for the herb of immortality. He hopes his disciple can return in time to save him. At 80 years old, Mugong reflects on his life filled with struggle and conquest. As the evil sect's heavenly master, he is one of the 3 great powers of Murim, but his strength is waning. Mugong admits his regrets. If I had known it would end like this, I might have chosen a different path, he thinks. The dream of a peaceful life seems distant and unattainable. Mugong feels the presence of the Grim Reaper looming over him. He curses his fate and wishes for a quick end as the weight of his past actions bears down on him. As Mugong's breath becomes labored, he longs for a final meeting with Cheonwoo Myung. It would be nice to see him one last time before I die, he murmurs. Cheonwoo Myung is on a desperate quest to find the herb of immortality. Mugong's last hope rests on his disciple's shoulders as time runs out for the dying master. Back in the sect, Mugong's followers display indifference and even hope for his death. They see his passing as an opportunity for change and power within the sect. In a twist of fate, Cheonwoo Myung returns with the herb of immortality. Master, I found it, he exclaims, his voice filled with urgency and hope. Mugong's followers, however, are not eager to save him. They question the need to prolong his life, believing that his time has come. Despite their reluctance, Cheonwoo Myung insists on administering the herb. Hurry up, he urges, fighting against the indifference and opposition of the others. As the Grim Reaper reaches out to claim Mugong's soul, a miraculous glow surrounds him. The power of the herb of immortality begins to take effect, pulling his soul back into his body. Against all odds, Mugong's life is spared. He opens his eyes, feeling the surge of energy from the herb. It's over, and it's irreversible, he realizes, understanding the significance of this second chance. The Grim Reaper retreats, defeated by the powerful herb. Mugong stands, his strength restored and his mind clearer than ever.
In the vast expanse of darkness, Mugong's consciousness floats, caught between the realms of life and death. He is in a state of limbo, where his soul wavers in the void, struggling to find its way back to the physical world. Mugong can feel the pull of the Grim Reaper weakening, a sensation that brings both relief and confusion. I can sense my soul returning, he realizes, understanding that the grip of death is loosening around him, giving him a chance to come back to life. Voices begin to penetrate the void, reaching his ears and pulling him back to reality. Oh, he's starting to wake up, someone exclaims with a mix of surprise and anticipation. Mugong feels a spark of life reigniting within him, signaling his return to consciousness. Confusion sets in as Mugong regains consciousness, his surroundings coming into focus. Wait, Wudang? He thinks, recognizing the familiar setting, but unable to comprehend how he ended up there. He is back, but the presence of others makes him uneasy. Mugong opens his eyes to see a group of ascetics surrounding him, their expressions a mix of concern and curiosity. "Are you awake now?" one of them asks, their tone gentle yet probing. Mugang feels a sense of vulnerability as he lies before them, unsure of their intentions. Mugang's mind races, trying to piece together the fragments of his memory and understand his current situation. Ascetics, what's going on here, he wonders, the unfamiliar faces and strange setting adding to his bewilderment and anxiety. One of the ascetics explains, "The heavens are watching over you," attempting to reassure Mugang of their benevolent intentions. However, Mugang is puzzled, trying to make sense of their cryptic words and their unexpected presence in his life. Another ascetic adds, "After the saintly ritual, you didn't thank us." Mugang's confusion deepens as he struggles to recall any such ritual. Did he survive the holy deity ascension? One of them wonders aloud, hinting at a miraculous event that saved his life. Pain shoots through Mugang's body, a sharp reminder of his physical condition. "Ugh, my body won't move," he realizes, the stiffness in his muscles and the weakness in his limbs making it impossible for him to sit up or defend himself. Mugang struggles to understand his situation, his mind clouded with confusion and fear. Why doesn't it hurt so much, he questions, the lack of pain contrasting sharply with the immobility of his body. The ascetics watch him closely, their expressions unreadable. One of the ascetics reassures him, "It's okay, don't move too much," their voice calm and soothing. But Mugang is filled with frustration and a desperate need for answers. He feels trapped in a body that no longer obeys his commands. Anger bubbles up as Mugang remembers the bloodshed and the loss he has endured. "Damn it, don't you get it? My whole clan was annihilated," he shouts, his voice filled with grief and rage. The ascetics remain calm, their expressions showing a mix of pity and detachment. One of the ascetics, with a cold demeanor, responds, "How cold? How can such a saint be so cold?" Their words sting, but Mugang's anger only intensifies. He feels misunderstood and isolated, surrounded by those who cannot grasp the depth of his suffering. "I did what? When?" Mugang asks, his fists clenching in anger and confusion. Memories of his past flood back, mingling with his current predicament. He feels lost in a sea of conflicting emotions and half-remembered events. Mugang sees flashes of his childhood, painful memories that resurface with startling clarity. The child abandoned by his parents, he recalls, the emotional wounds of his past reopening. The memories stir a mix of sadness and anger within him. A figure from his past appears, a kind face in a time of turmoil. It's not time to relive this stuff, Mugang thinks, trying to push the memories away. He knows he must focus on the present if he is to survive and regain his strength. The boy was heartless, Mugang remembers, reflecting on his own harsh upbringing and the resilience it forced upon him. He understands now that his toughness was a necessary shield against a cruel world. Wait, hold on, what's happening? Mugang feels overwhelmed by the memories and the present reality clashing together. His mind struggles to keep up with the rapid succession of images and emotions. His pulse is weakening, and ascetic notes with concern. "All right, hurry up, everyone," another commands, urgency in their voice. They begin a ritual, hoping to stabilize Mugang and prevent his condition from worsening. Mugang's body starts to glow with a bright light, an intense and unfamiliar sensation. "What? This is deity chi," he realizes, feeling a powerful surge of energy flowing into him, healing his wounds and invigorating his spirit. "Damn it, what are you doing? Infusing deity chi into my body?" Mugang protests, his voice filled with fear and anger. But the ascetics continue their ritual, determined to save him despite his objections. Mugang screams in pain, "Ah!" as the deity chi flows through him, both healing and overwhelming him. The process is excruciating, but he knows it is necessary for his survival. Suddenly, the light subsides, leaving Mugang exhausted but alive. "Phew, it's over. It worked," one of the ascetics exclaims with relief. Mugang lies on the ground, his body heavy with the after-effects of the ritual. The deity chi stopped the spread of the venom, an ascetic explains. "Now all we need to do is repair all of his bones." Mugang listens, too tired to protest or even process their words fully. An ascetic approaches Mugang, their expression solemn. "I will be eternally grateful for what you have done for us," they say. Mugang's anger resurfaces, his voice sharp. "Grateful?" he snaps, struggling to contain his frustration. "You goddamned assholes!" Mugang shouts, his emotions spilling over. "You saved me to be indebted to you?" The ascetics remain calm, their expressions unchanging, as if they expected his outburst. An elder ascetic speaks, their voice steady and authoritative. "Don't worry, we are all connected by fate. How could we ignore the child that was fated to save our lives?" Wudang listens, skeptical but too weak to argue. "Sect master," another ascetic interjects. "Now that this child has saved us, shall we accept him as a new disciple?" Wudang is taken aback by the suggestion, unsure of what to think. The sect master nods in agreement. "Yes, we have been thinking about it for a while. If you accept him, he will train under us." Wudang feels a mix of surprise and uncertainty as the proposal sinks in. "I shall permit this child to be Wu Myung's disciple," the sect master declares, making the decision final. Wudang feels a sense of acceptance, but also the weight of new expectations and responsibilities. "Have you thought of a name for him?" an ascetic asks, turning to Wudang. He is silent, the question taking him by surprise. "A first-class name would be good," the sect master suggests. "I shall choose Mun." Jinmu, the sect master decides, sealing Wudang's new identity. The ascetics nod in agreement. "That's a nice name," one of them says. Wudang thinks to himself, "That name sucks," feeling a mix of acceptance and resistance. The sect master smiles warmly. "From now on, Jinmu will be your name. You are our new disciple." Wudang, now Jinmu, feels a sense of acceptance, but also the burden of living up to his new identity. "All right, everyone, for Jinmu's fast recovery," the sect master announces. The ascetics prepare for another ritual, and Jinmu braces himself for what lies ahead, knowing that his journey has only just begun. Jinmu feels the hands of the ascetics on him, their energy channeling into his body. What are they doing now, he wonders, as the ritual begins. The ascetics' focus and determination are palpable. Jinmu feels a rush of power coursing through him, a sensation both exhilarating and terrifying. "Stop it!" he cries, but the ascetics continue their work. "I'm begging you, please stop," he pleads, tears streaming down his face as the intensity of the ritual overwhelms him. "Enough," an elder ascetic commands, bringing the ritual to a sudden halt. Jinmu is left panting, tears in his eyes, his body trembling from the experience. "We have saved you," the elder says with finality. "Now you must live up to your new name." Jinmu lies there, exhausted but alive, realizing that his journey has only just begun. The name Jinmu will carry the weight of his past and the hope of his future. He knows he must rise to the challenge and prove himself worthy of the second chance he has been given. Now, that's the look of a true hero. Jinmu stands tall in a black and red robe, his golden eyes gleaming with determination. He looks every bit the classic Rizzler. As he takes a deep breath, he says to himself, "I've become Jinmu, a first-class disciple of Wudang, a once mighty but now dying group. What has that Orochimaru-looking reaper done to me? I just closed my eyes, and when I opened them, I was in this kid's dying body with his memories flooding my mind." Adding to his turmoil, the 6 Yang divine arts deity energy, forcibly infused into his dantian, is eradicating all other forms of energy within him. This realization fills him with rage. "I can't even use my old martial arts that I was so proud of, the Shadow Dragon core energy," he thinks furiously. His master calls out to him, and Jinmu responds instinctively, a reaction he despises. He curses his current situation, resenting how his body obeys without question. Jinmu's mind drifts to his past life. "I remember it like it was yesterday," he muses. "I turned the Pond of Peace upside down and burned 3 out of the 5 palaces, cutting through everything in Wudang. He was the ascetic bastard who protected the Violet Cloud Palace to the end, fighting against me, Hyok Ryon Mugang. He was spared because he refused to surrender, but that was a mistake. I should have burned all their Tao temples to the ground." Snapping back to the present, his master invites him to lunch. Reluctantly, Jinmu agrees, but frustration simmers beneath the surface. As he cuts vegetables and makes soup with a forced smile, his patience finally snaps. He throws the bowl across the room, shouting, "When can I leave this goddamn place?" We now start Chapter 3. The tranquil scenery of a serene temple is disturbed by the sound of birds chirping, creating a peaceful yet lively atmosphere. In this serene setting, Jinmu's master sips his tea while teaching Jinmu the basics of martial arts. Jinmu unsheathes his sword and concentrates to apply his chi to the sword while the master observes him. With a sudden burst of energy coming out of the sword, Jinmu successfully passes his chi through the sword, making a charged sword. The master is astonished by the rapid development of Jinmu, as it has only been 3 months since the training began. The master then says it usually takes years of practice, and on top of that, you learned by my verbal teachings alone. Jinmu replies that it's been 3 months and he was fully healed. Since the master lost his skills, he had to teach Jinmu the 6 Yang divine arts via verbal teaching. As one of Murim's former lords, having to learn all of this from scratch is annoying, but this damn body. All of its memories are controlling my instincts, so I can't go against the master's words. Master Myungjin thinks, is it because of the chi we sent into your body? Or when I'm teaching you one thing, are you able to learn 10, no, 100 things because you are a genius? The master then stops himself and says that's impossible. Jinmu gives a smirking expression towards the master after hearing it. He then thinks to himself, of course you wouldn't understand. Even though I'm in this body, I used to be one of the strongest beings in the world. I understand this power infinitely more than you do. But actually, learning their techniques has been quite fun. Growing my internal energy every day and deepening my understanding of the basic strokes, compared to the dangerous techniques I once used, it's much more systematic and safe. I will admit that there's a reason why this place is famous. Jinmu dives deeper into his training, pushing himself to the limits. I remember those times when I trained in martial arts as a vagabond. I trained so hard that I would lose track of time. Without realizing it, a year has passed, Jinmu reflects. With a swift motion, Jinmu demonstrates the sword chi technique, his blade cutting through the air with precision. I'm now able to use sword chi, he states proudly. Finally, it looks like I am a first-class disciple, Jinmu says, his voice filled with satisfaction. Wudang sect's martial arts have truly improved my skills. Jinmu contemplates his next steps. Long can the time be, having learned martial arts with 2 internal energies, he muses. But there's one problem. My internal energy is taking too long to recover. Jinmu's frustration is evident. Even though I give it my all, the energy is slow to recover, he says, his voice filled with determination, but it's still too slow. Jinmu clenches his fist, his resolve strengthening. I need to advance several levels, he decides, but if there was a way to improve, I would do anything. Half a month ago, Jinmu's journey took a significant turn. That's impressive, someone comments, watching his progress. If someone has enough merit, they get to train under the sect master himself. That's how it's supposed to be, Jinmu reflects. That's why, unlike the master disciples, becoming a first-class disciple is crucial. He remembers the teachings and the expectations placed upon him. Most people who want to learn under a martial arts sect master, Jinmu recalls, wish to become one as well. If I could, I would use the unique martial arts techniques and be able to train them directly. Jinmu's determination is unwavering. What did you just say? Someone exclaims, surprised by his ambition. 2 internal energy types? They ask in disbelief. 2 at the same time? Jinmu repeats, understanding the challenge before him. He envisions the integration of the internal energies within his body, a difficult but not impossible task. I thought that the unique body technique was only possible when born, Jinmu muses. But if I could master it, I wouldn't have to worry about the deity Chi's interference. Jinmu ponders being able to have 2 types of internal energy in one body. Isn't that the most secret technique that Wudang sect has? I thought that technique was long lost. I never imagined that it's still around since I've never seen any martial arts sect use it. If someone could teach me, I wouldn't have to worry about the divine chi interference. I could use the shadow dragon core energy. Now that I know what I need to do, I won't stop until I achieve my goal. Jinmu declares, his eyes filled with determination and resolve. Jinmu's goal becomes clear. Are you sure about that? Jinmu asks. The second-class disciple says, everyone knows that mastering this technique is challenging. Jinmu's mind races with possibilities. Something that anyone else would find impossible, he states, his conviction growing stronger. He realizes that his journey will be filled with obstacles, but he is ready to face them. Every single one of the first-class disciples has a special talent, Jinmu acknowledges. But you don't know how remarkable I am, he adds with a confident smile, his eyes shining with determination. Now that I know what I need to do, I won't stop until I achieve my goal, Jinmu declares, his voice filled with determination and resolve. He knows that his journey will be arduous, but he is ready to prove his worth. Every single one of the first-class disciples has a special talent, Jinmu acknowledges. But you don't know how remarkable I am, he adds with a confident smile, his eyes shining with determination. The skepticism continues as the senior says, "You're just a nobody under a first-generation martial artist, not one of the master's disciples." The dismissal of Jinmu's abilities is clear in their tone. "It's not even in your reach, is it?" the character adds, further underestimating Jinmu's potential. Jinmu's expression shows a mix of frustration and determination. Contemplating his next move, Jinmu's focus sharpens. Competition. What about them, he thinks, realizing that proving himself will require surpassing his peers. With a fierce grin, Jinmu continues, "I'll beat everyone else to a pulp because I'm the one with the dual martial energies." His eyes shine with a fiery resolve, ready to prove his worth. He exclaims, "All right, I've found a way to fix my energy deficiency." His excitement is palpable as he identifies a solution to his lingering problem. Just one more problem left before I can get out of this rut, Jinmu thinks to himself. And that problem is... The scene shifts to a more peaceful setting. The peaceful setting reveals a table laden with food. Jinmu says, "First, food." The sight of the meal underscores the basic yet crucial need for sustenance in his journey. Sitting across from his master, Jinmu reassures him, "Don't worry, sir. You need food to heal." His dedication to his master's recovery is clear. Jinmu serves a plate of food to his master, saying, "Please enjoy it." His master, with a look of appreciation, responds, "All right, I will." As the master takes a bite, Jinmu thinks to himself, "Damn Wudang sect bastards. I finally realize how ridiculous it was for them to spread such nonsense about internal energy deficiency." Jinmu continues to reflect, remembering times when he begged his master, "Please, just one bite," and pleaded for his attention, "Please." His dedication and persistence are clear from these memories. "Thanks to the master's consistent care, I improved my absorption for me to regain my normal levels," Jinmu acknowledges. He is grateful for the support and training he received, which has enabled his progress. Jinmu reassures his master, "Are you sure you don't want more?" To which the master replies, "I'm all right. Don't worry about me. Go on." The master's focus remains on Jinmu's training and well-being. Jinmu contemplates the next step, thinking, next reality is the best food to neutralize someone. He is determined to continue his journey and ensure his master's health and strength. With a determined look, Jinmu reflects, "I can't tell my master about my plan." He understands the necessity of keeping his strategy to himself for now. Jinmu trains rigorously, thinking, if I ask him anything about it, I'm sure he will end up telling him everything. His commitment to mastering his skills is unwavering, even in secrecy. As he practices the sword, he swings, and suddenly someone appears, and he almost slashes them. The kid introduces himself as Chungwoo, a second-class disciple from Cultivation Hall. He tells Jinmu that he brought food supplies.
Starting Chapter 4, Jinmu, having completed his rigorous training, stands in a serene courtyard. He is approached by Chungwoo, a fellow disciple from the Cultivation Hall. Chungwoo introduces himself, causing Jinmu to recognize him as that guy. Chungwoo explains that he has brought food supplies, which Jinmu realizes must mean that Chungwoo has been assisting him with his training. Jinmu questions why Chungwoo had gained so much weight despite being a martial artist, suspecting that Chungwoo might be careless about his body. Chungwoo's arrival changes nothing for Jinmu, who remains resolute in his dedication to training. He quickly engages in a sparring session, demonstrating his commitment to becoming stronger. However, Chungwoo's presence disrupts Jinmu's focus, and he finds himself frustrated by the constant interruptions. Jinmu's annoyance is evident as he exclaims, "This pig! I'm going crazy!" Jinmu questions Chungwoo's arrival, reminding him that as a disciple of the Cultivation Hall, he shouldn't be loitering around, and tells him to go and continue the training. Chungwoo pleads to stay and train, stating that he has nowhere else to go. Jinmu, observing this interaction, recalls how people usually hang out with their peers on their days off, a luxury he hasn't indulged in. Jinmu, contemplating Chungwoo's unusual behavior, realizes that people might avoid Chengwu due to his overbearing nature. Curious, Jinmu inquires about Chengwu's interactions with others, to which Chengwu admits that people often avoid him. Jinmu's expression softens as he acknowledges Chengwu's lack of self-awareness and suggests that Chengwu's cheerful demeanor might be off-putting to some. Chengwu, unaware of his own shortcomings, continues to express his dedication to training. Jinmu, slightly amused and sympathetic, advises Chengwu to be more aware of how others perceive him. He is practically being bullied by his seniors and peers. He reminds Jinmu of his loyal assistant from his past life, who was also bullied for his innocent behavior. Chengwu, with his ever-optimistic attitude, laughs and thanks Jinmu for the advice. Jinmu then tells Chengwu to go train and insists that there is no time to waste. Chengwu, eager to prove himself, demonstrates a martial arts move, the 7-star fist. Jinmu watches, impressed by Chengwu's effort, realizing that he must have been practicing hard. This revelation sparks Jinwu's curiosity, and he decides to take a closer look at how the Wudang sect's second-class disciples train, leading him to follow Chengwu and observe his training methods. Jinmu thinks, Chengmyung is fat because he eats a lot and is lazy. For example, if your form is bad, you won't be able to do well no matter how much you train. Jinmu is frustrated with Chengmyung's lack of discipline, but is determined to help him improve. Jinmu, while watching Chengmyung struggle, says to himself, watching him is frustrating me to no end. He feels conflicted because it's not really his business, but he can't help but get involved. Jinmu exclaims that the style should change according to the body type. For example, if your arms are short, you'll have to use your feet more than in the original method, or you will have to use a trick. Whoever taught him was stupid. Jinmu, unable to hold back any longer, grabs Chengmyung and sternly asks, why are you doing this? Chengmyung is taken aback by Jinmu's sudden outburst. Jinmu, pointing at Chengmyung's chest, exclaims, you're thick! You're fat! If you can't get it right, your training won't mean anything. Chengmyung looks confused and overwhelmed. Chengmyung, with a blank expression, clearly doesn't understand what Jinmu is trying to convey. Jinmu, frustrated, thinks, man, I'm going crazy. He lightly smacks Chengmyung on the head and mutters, what an idiot. Chengmyung cries out in pain, ouch, that hurts. Jinmu wanted to show him how to do it properly and asks him to stand properly. Chengmyung agrees with a smiley face. Jinmu tells him, come on, stand here and do it. Try the 7-star fist again. Chengmyung, despite the pain, agrees to try again with determination. Chengmyung gets into position, ready to give it another shot. Jinmu observes, ensuring Chengmyung follows the correct form. Chengmyung gathers his energy and focuses on executing the 7-star fist properly this time. He says, make your hits quick and concise. Since you don't have the brain, learn by getting hit. Now, lean in more. Jinmu gets frustrated and kicks him with his leg. He even tells that you can poke your opponent's eyes. Chengmyung, with pain, says, but sir, isn't that too cowardly? Jinmu responds saying, shut up. There's no cowardly way to fight. If you win, it's over. Again, Jinmu bombards Chengmyung with a barrage of punches and kicks and finally says, that's enough for today. Jinmu continues, but if you do a movement, you have to do it like your life depends on it, emphasizing the importance of dedication and precision in their training. Chengmyung falls down out of exhaustion and pain, but Jinmu is impressed by his tenacity and thinks that he got some tenacity since he kept moving until I told him to stop. Jinmu says, not to come here again from tomorrow. If you come, I will kill you here. Chengmyung is utterly shocked by his words and expression and runs away. Jinmu watches Chengmyung walk away, his expression unchanging. He thinks to himself, he's so annoying. Please don't come back, expressing his desire to be rid of Chengmyung's presence. As the sun sets, Jinmu stands on the bridge, lost in his thoughts. Suddenly, a voice calls out to him, Jinmu. It is his master, approaching him from behind. The master continues, what were you doing here? Jinmu turns to face him, surprised by his sudden appearance. Jinmu, trying to downplay the situation, responds, I've never seen him before. Either he is a little stupid. He attempts to dismiss the topic, but his master seems curious. His master, with a discerning look, replies, but you led him well. That's how it should be. Jinmu is taken aback by the compliment, questioning, why do you look so happy? With a gentle smile, the master says, I'll hurry up and prepare the meal. Jinmu, feeling a mix of emotions, simply replies, "All right." The next day, we see Jinmu training again, and someone calls him, "You punk!" He turns around and sees two people, Chung Myung and a new person emerging. The other person is a first-class disciple of the Culmination Hall, Jinhyo, who is much more senior than Jinmu and also one of the ascetics that made it into Wudang sect's Great Seven. Jinmu, a great disciple of Culmination Hall, stands resolute, observing his surroundings. Beside him, Jinhyo, another esteemed disciple of the Wudang sect, and Chungwoo appear, setting the stage for a tense encounter. Jinhyo, known for his unwavering dedication, confronts Jinmu, questioning his recent actions. Jinmu's calm demeanor contrasts sharply with Jinhyo's stern expression, creating an atmosphere thick with tension. Jinhyo, with a stern expression, accuses Jinmu of teaching Chungwoo improper techniques that nearly rendered his opponent unable to produce energy. Jinmu, unfazed, responds calmly, denying any wrongdoing. Chungwoo, caught in the middle, looks on with a mixture of confusion and concern. Jinhyo's accusation rings out, "Did you teach him the seven-star fist?" pointing at Chungwoo's fatigued form. Jinmu, maintaining his composure, responds, "What if I did? It's a legitimate technique." Jinhyo's anger flares as he points at Jinmu, demanding an explanation for the seven-star fist technique. Jinmu remains composed, deflecting the accusations with ease. Chungwoo, sensing the rising tension, tries to mediate, but to no avail. Jinhyo, frustrated, declares that Jinwoo's teachings are reckless and could endanger others. "Do you understand the consequences of such a reckless act?" Jinhyo's voice grows louder, drawing the attention of other disciples. Jinmu, maintaining his calm demeanor, subtly mocks Jinhyo's concern, hinting at his own superior understanding of martial arts. "Perhaps you don't fully grasp the intricacies of the technique," Jinmu suggests, a slight smirk playing on his lips. Jinhyo, feeling provoked, challenges Jinmu to prove his worth. "Then prove it. Show me the mastery you claim to possess," Jinhyo demands, his fists clenched in anger. The air is thick with anticipation as the two disciples prepare to clash. Jinmu decides not to use the actual sword as it may kill the senior. He unsheathes his practice sword, its wooden blade glinting in the sunlight. The duel begins, with Jinhyo launching a series of swift attacks. Jinmu effortlessly evades, demonstrating his agility and skill. The crowd watches in awe as the two disciples exchange blows, their movements a blur of speed and precision. Jinhyo's attacks are fierce, each strike aimed to land a decisive blow, but Jinmu moves like a shadow, effortlessly dodging. Jinhyo's frustration grows as he struggles to land a hit on Jinmu. Determined to teach Jinmu a lesson, Jinhyo intensifies his attacks, but Jinmu counters each move with ease. Jinmu's confidence shines through as he taunts Jinhyo, further fueling his anger. "Is that all you've got?" Jinmu asks, his voice dripping with mockery. Jinhyo's face contorts with rage, his attacks becoming more erratic. Jinmu, sensing an opportunity, unleashes a powerful strike, sending Jinhyo staggering backward. The crowd gasps, witnessing Jinmu's undeniable prowess. Jinhyo, refusing to back down, readies himself for another round, his resolve unbroken. "I'm not done yet," Jinhyo yells, charging at Jinmu with renewed vigor. The sound of their clashing swords echoes through the courtyard. As the duel continues, Jinmu's mastery becomes evident. Each of his movements is precise, each strike calculated. Jinhyo, despite his best efforts, finds himself outmatched. Jinmu's confidence grows with each passing moment, his superiority undeniable. "You're predictable," Jinmu comments, effortlessly parrying Jinhyo's strikes. The audience murmurs in agreement, their admiration for Jinmu growing. Jinhyo, realizing the futility of his efforts, reluctantly concedes defeat. Jinmu, victorious, stands tall, his expression triumphant. Jinhyo acknowledges Jinmu's skill and dominance. As he was about to praise our hero, we can see that Jinmu still doesn't want to stop his anger and starts punching him until Jinhyo's face is swollen. Jinmu thinks that he finally got a chance to release his stress. "This is for all the times you looked down on me," Jinmu mutters between punches, his fists flying in a blur of motion. The scene transitions to a different setting, where the news of Jinmu's victory has reached the Violet Cloud Temple. The sect master, Myungchun, listens intently to the report. "Someone beat Jinhyo?" he repeats, incredulous. The sect master's expression hardens as he contemplates the implications of this unexpected development. "Tell it to me again," Myungchun demands, his eyes narrowing. The messenger nervously repeats the tale, describing Jinmu's overwhelming victory. In the final frames, Jinmu stands alone, reflecting on the day's events. His determination is unwavering as he gazes into the distance, mentally preparing for the challenges that lie ahead. I will definitely learn it, Jinmu vows, his resolve stronger than ever. The chapter concludes with Jinmu's laughter echoing in the courtyard, a testament to his unyielding spirit and relentless pursuit of mastery. The sun sets behind him, casting a long shadow that symbolizes the immense journey still ahead. The chapter begins with a dramatic scene set in the Violet Cloud Temple. The sect's elders gather, their expressions grave and contemplative. The Wudang sect master, Myung-chun, sits at the head of the table, listening intently as his disciples recount the recent events. The atmosphere is tense as the elders discuss the implications of Jinmu's actions. As the scene unfolds, it becomes clear that the elders are deeply concerned about Jinmu's growing power. Myung-chun, with a furrowed brow, demands more details about Jinmu's recent victory over Jinheo. The disciple who brought the news repeats himself, emphasizing Jinmu's dominance in the duel. Myung-chun's face hardens as he contemplates the implications. There are several key figures, including Elder Huang and Elder Park, who are known for their strategic acumen and deep knowledge of martial arts. The atmosphere in the hall is tense, charged with anticipation and concern. The elders are seated in a semicircle facing the sect master, ready to discuss the recent events that have shaken the sect. The hall is dimly lit, with the flickering light of lanterns casting long shadows, adding to the gravity of the moment. They are shocked to learn that a second-year disciple was able to modify martial arts based on body type, a feat only masters and those with extensive in-depth knowledge can accomplish. They are all impressed by our hero's actions. As the elders exchange concerned glances, the scene shifts to a flashback showing a younger Myung-chun. His face is stern and determined as he leads a group of disciples in a fierce battle against Hyokryone Mugang. The flashback highlights the sect's storied past and the challenges it has overcome, reinforcing the importance of maintaining its honor and reputation. Returning to the present, Myung-chun concludes, "We will investigate this matter thoroughly. Let us gather all the relevant information and convene again tomorrow to decide our course of action." The elders nod in agreement, their resolve strengthened by the sect master's guidance. The meeting adjourns, and the image captures the elders as they rise and begin to leave the hall. The scene shifts to an animated scene outside the Violet Cloud Temple. We see Chung-woo, who is always full of energy and enthusiasm, excitedly running towards Jinmu with a broad smile on his face. His arms are outstretched as if he's about to embrace Jinmu, reflecting his carefree nature. Meanwhile, Jinmu stands in the courtyard, calmly observing Chung-woo's exuberant approach. His expression is a mix of amusement and mild annoyance, indicative of the complex relationship between the two disciples. Jinmu, known for his stoic demeanor, remains composed as Chung-woo skids to a stop in front of him, panting slightly from his rush. Chung-woo announces that the master told him to practice martial arts under Jinmu. Our hero is shocked and frustrated to hear this predicament. He claims that he didn't beat Jinheo hard enough. Suddenly, the master enters the scene and says he allowed it as Jinheo visited last night and convinced the master to have Chung-woo train under Jinmu. Hearing this from the master confuses our hero, who can't really deny the request. Jinmu begs the master that he is not ready to have any students, but the master holds Jinmu's hands and pleads. Jinmu doesn't know what to do now. With reluctance, he agrees to the master's request. After the conversation, the sect master asks Jinmu to cook the meal as he's hungry. The scene transitions to an open courtyard where Jinmu stands, resolute and contemplative, reflecting on Master Ungle's words. The crisp morning air fills the space, bringing with it a sense of renewal and purpose. Jinmu's thoughts are interrupted by the sudden appearance of Chung-woo, who, as usual, seems bursting with energy. The cheerful disciple dashes towards Jinmu, his feet barely touching the ground in his excitement. "Jinmu! Jinmu!" Chung-woo calls out, his voice echoing through the courtyard. Jinmu turns to see Chung-woo approaching at full speed. Despite the disruption, Jinmu can't help but feel slight amusement at his friend's boundless enthusiasm. Jinmu threatens Chung-woo and gives him 3 rules to follow if he wants to be accepted. First, Jinmu is not his master. Second, Chengwu must do whatever Jinmu tells him. Third, Chengwu must never utter words like wow, yay, or hooray again like last time. Chengwu, with a painful look on his face, screams, "I will follow your orders." Jinmu asks Chengwu to go to the kitchen to prepare food. He instructs Chengwu to get roosters and prepare food, giving step-by-step instructions. Jinmu thinks Chengwu is really obedient and feels very satisfied to boss someone around after a while. Chengwu asks Jinmu how he defeated the senior while praising our hero with a glowing face. Jinmu finds it amusing and boasts about himself. The food is prepared and both of them take the chicken to their grand master. Chengwu, holding a bowl of ingredients, looks at Jinmu with wide-eyed wonder and asks, "I can really eat this?" His face lights up with excitement at the prospect of enjoying the fruits of their labor. Chengwu asks if it's okay to eat meat, since eating meat is strictly forbidden based on the Wudang sect's commandments. Jinmu thinks they are nonsense, as he eats meat sometimes, and it's been a while since the master has had it too. Jinmu serves the food to his master and pleads with him to eat more chicken, saying he is getting stronger every day after changing his diet. With an evil expression, he thinks to himself that once he gets better, he can leave this place and never come back. The master, with a smiley face, offers some meat to Jinmu, but he politely rejects the offer by saying he has another bowl of meat outside for him and Chengwu, and steps out. Jinmu says he is very hungry and is infuriated to see Chengwu finishing the entire bowl by himself. He chases after Chengwu with an angry look and shouts, "Why did you eat the soup too?" As this funny scene is going around, we now see the elders entering the sect to greet the Grand Master and listen to Jinmu's side of the events yesterday. But Jinmu is clueless and wondering why they have come all the way here. This concludes Chapter 6. The continuation of the previous chapter unfolds with high tension and a sense of urgency. The scene starts with a dramatic crash as Jinmu and Chengwu find themselves in a precarious situation. Jinmu, with a stern and determined look, swiftly turns to face the commotion. His eyes widen with surprise and concern as he notices the Wudang sect master, Myungshun, along with several elders approaching with serious expressions. The sect master, his face a mix of disappointment and anger, demands to know what Jinmu has done. Jinmu's internal thoughts reveal his anxiety. Why are they here now? What do they want? Chengwu, standing next to Jinmu, looks equally alarmed. I did not intend for any harm. My actions were meant to protect and strengthen our sect. One of the masters says, "We can smell the meat cooking from down the mountain. Are you taking advantage of your master's illness to break the rules? I cannot forgive you for this," the master screams with a furious voice. As Jinmu is scared, the masters go inside the room and find the pile of meat bones and Grandmaster Myungjin munching on them. Jinmu curses his situation and says, "I can't let something like this get in the way of me becoming a master disciple. Let me beg for forgiveness." Jinmu bends on his knees and asks for forgiveness, but the sect leader shouts for him to keep quiet. One of the leaders, infuriated, demands an explanation. Grandmaster Myungjin says, "I didn't commit any crime." Everyone in the room, including Jinmu and his friend, is utterly shocked. They didn't expect that question from the Grandmaster himself. Despite everyone's anger and shock, the Grandmaster remains calm and asks Jinmu, "Why are you kneeling as if you committed a crime? Stand up." The Grandmaster stands and addresses the elders, asking them, "How do I look right now?" All the elders are shocked to see him standing, as they didn't expect him to have this much energy. "When I lost my powers and was confined to my bed after fighting that evil man, do you know how I felt? Every one of our allies and disciples died and betrayed us when we were down. Did we even try to get revenge?" All the elders look down, ashamed and unable to meet the Grandmaster's eyes. No one helped the Wudang sect, and now they are forgotten, continually getting weaker. He continues, "When we were powerful, everyone wanted to help, but they ignored us the second we were weakened. That is what Murim is like. Even if they call themselves chivalrous, that's the cold, hard truth." Jinmu is surprised to hear such a debate from the Grand Master and thinks to himself, "You are good, Master. This might work. Come on, hurry up. You know I'm innocent," and smirks with an evil laugh. The Grandmaster Myungjin continues, When Jinmu first suggested I eat meat, I was surprised, but he insisted, eat this and get your energy back, because I cannot live without him. That's why I ate it, and it gave me strength. Recently, I was able to walk around in the mountains. The elder is shocked to hear this and thinks, he was bedridden for 10 years, and now he went for a walk. He's regained that much? The Grandmaster yells with passion, Senior brother, do you truly not understand? While we were abstaining from everything, we have done nothing but get weaker. If the Wudang sect becomes nothing but ruins, what use are the 10 Commandments? One of the elders shouts, Stop! I shall handle this myself. The rest of you, please leave. I will talk to Myungjin alone. As the remaining elders object, the elder gets angry and shouts, Don't make me repeat myself. Now the elders, scared, decide to leave the sect for now. We now see Jinmu and Myungjin giving a send-off to the elders as they descend the sect. Judging by the elders' looks, we can see that they are upset and infuriated. In the next scene, Chungwoo asks Jinmu, Master Uncle, what do we do now? With a concerned face. Jinmu is clueless and doesn't know what to do. It's just eating meat. Why do they make a big deal out of it? He wonders. He then thinks, are my chances of becoming a master apprentice ruined? The next day, Jinmu is invited to the sect leaders' meeting and is standing among them. Jinmu convinces himself, it's fine, it's just eating meat. The punishment can't be that bad, right? Now the elder addresses Jinmu. You have committed 3 crimes. Jinmu is shocked and doesn't understand why it's 3 mistakes. With this, the chapter 7 comes to an end. Let's see what the 3 crimes our hero has committed according to the elders in the next chapter. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for more updates and content. The chapter opens in the Grand Hall of the Violet Cloud Temple, a space filled with the high-ranking elders of the Wudang sect. The atmosphere is tense, laden with anticipation and the weight of impending judgment. The sect master, Myung-chun, sits at the head of the gathering, his presence commanding respect and attention. His gaze is fixed on Jinmu, who stands before him, ready to face the charges against him. The sect master begins the proceedings with a commanding voice. Jinmu, listen. His words reverberate through the hall, heightening the gravity of the situation. Jinmu, feeling the weight of the moment, stands tall, prepared to defend his actions. Myung-chun starts listing the accusations against Jinmu. First, even if it was for your mentor, you breached one of the 10 commandments of our sect, he states, his tone sharp and unforgiving. The elders, including Elder Wang and Elder Park, murmur among themselves, their expressions a mix of concern and disapproval. He continues, Second, you are accused of modifying martial arts techniques without authorization. The sect master's voice grows harsher. Third, you have defied the sect's rules, shown disrespect to your superiors, and injured your own kind. The severity of the situation is clear to everyone present. The master asks, Do you agree with these accusations? Jinmu responds with a silent yes, wondering what kind of punishment awaits him. Should he just turn the whole place upside down if he's not satisfied with their decision? He thinks with a frustrated expression. The master then announces, I shall now punish you for your 3 crimes. For the next month, you will restore the Pond of Peace. Jinmu is happy to hear this, considering it a light punishment. The elders are shocked by the leniency, believing he should be imprisoned instead. One elder voices his frustration. Sect master, what are you saying? He deserves to be imprisoned for what he did. This punishment is too easy on him. Other elders agree. That's right. To forgive him for breaking one of the 10 commandments, sect master, please reconsider. Seeing the dissent, Jinmu looks back at everyone with a mix of shock and anger. The sect master silences the room, saying, Don't attempt to undermine my authority as the sect master. I don't want to hear any more. Jinmu may leave now. Jinmu bows to the elder and takes his leave. The other elders, unhappy with the decision, begin to shiver with anger and contempt. One elder, the Purification Palace master, speaks up. Sect master, may I speak? Is this decision because of the effect that meat has had on the Grandmaster's health? As a medical professional, I've known for a long time that in order for him to recover, he would need to eat meat. Hearing this, the sect master explains, That's not the only reason I allowed him to eat meat. The revelation shocks the other elders. The scene shifts to Jinmu and Chungwoo standing by a tranquil pond, the serene setting contrasting with the earlier tension. Jinmu looks out over the water, his mind filled with thoughts of the challenges ahead. Chengwu, ever the enthusiastic one, exclaims, "Master Uncle, those elders are really strict, aren't they?" His face shows a mix of curiosity and concern. Jinmu thinks, it's been 10 years since the war, and they haven't fixed it. What have they been doing all these years? This place is very sacred to the sect. There isn't even a guard here. Chengwu interrupts Jinmu's thoughts, asking, "Master, this is weird. At the first class disciples' morning meeting to discuss what to do for the day, I heard them saying they would send more people over, but why is no one here except us?" Jinmu responds, "I think they are jealous of us. Most of the other apprentices are from good families. Having nobody like me placed in the same classes as them hurts their pride. They are trying to ostracize me. Just wait until I become a master disciple. I'll kick their asses," he says with burning intent. Seeing Jinmu's determination scares Chengwu, who asks, "What's with your killing intent? Are you going to kill them?" The scene shifts to Seren's place, where Jinmu and Chengwu start eating several types of meat every day, enjoying themselves to the fullest. After 3 days, Chengwu worries about not making any progress in cleaning the pond. "Is this really okay?" he asks. Jinmu responds, "Of course it is. Don't you trust me? The fact that they gave us a month to fix this place means they want us to take it easy." The next morning, Jinmu relaxes by the pond, thinking, why is Chengwu late today? Is he sleeping? Just then, he sees Chengwu running towards him, chased by someone. Jinmu is shocked, wondering, who is this new guy? Chengwu introduces the newcomer. This is senior brother Chengsang. Jinmu thinks to himself, he's very handsome and tall, but he doesn't look like he wants to be friends with Chengwu. Chengwu explains, he asked me to explain something, but I couldn't do it well, so I brought him here. Jinmu asks, what exactly did he ask about? Chengwu responds, the things I've learned from you. I can do them, but I can't explain how. I can only show them with my moves. Jinmu and Chengsang glare at each other, and Jinmu thinks, what is this guy after? Is he really after me? Why does he want to learn from me? The scene shifts back to the discussion between the elders. The sect master declares, the Wudang sect needs to change. Another elder adds, I still can't believe Jinmu didn't learn techniques directly from his grandmaster. He just listened to his teachings, discovered their weaknesses, and modified them to his needs. For him to have come this far, he has a gift from the heavens. The grandmaster reflects. What if the rules we've been putting on students have crippled their wings before they truly learn to fly? He decides to change everything, starting with allowing meat in the diet, wondering if this change will bring good. The chapter ends with Jinmu staring at Chengsang by the pond, his mind filled with questions and a burning resolve. The new chapter opens with Jinmu standing by the tranquil pond, contemplating the recent events. He is joined by Chengwu and the newly introduced senior brother, Chengsang. Chengwu, ever the enthusiastic one, tries to break the ice by formally introducing Chengsang. Senior brother Chengsang is a legendary martial artist in the entire Cloud Sky sect, he exclaims, his eyes sparkling with admiration. He's one of the few chosen to master the sword technique. Chengsang, proud of himself, listens to the praises from the junior chubby cheeks. Jinmu's expression hardens, his competitive spirit ignited. So this guy thinks he's hot stuff, huh? He muses internally. Not really sure who you are, but let me put your smug face into the ground. He thinks with determination. Chengsang, however, doesn't appear interested in pleasantries. His demeanor is distant and aloof, further irritating Jinmu. Chengwu attempts to diffuse the tension by explaining, senior brother Chengsang doesn't really teach. It's probably because of where he came from. But his attempt falls flat. Chengsang's stern reply, I don't need help from anybody about where I'm from, leaves Chengwu apologizing profusely. Jinmu observes the exchange and thinks, for a guy with such raw talent, he's sure isolated from the others. This realization brings Jinmu to a sudden determination. Those damn Wudang sect relationships. If I don't like it, I'll just change it. Jinmu then commands Chengwu, get rid of that rock. We need to restore the pond of peace, right? Chengwu looks at the massive boulder in disbelief, exclaiming, Master Uncle, that's not a rock, it's a boulder. It's impossible to move. Jinmu, unperturbed, retorts, do it. In order to move a boulder that tall, you need to have at least 10 years of internal energy or more strength. Despite his doubts, Chengwu gives it his all but fails. Jinmu watches intently, assessing Chengwu's efforts. Chungsang, observing from a distance, thinks to himself, "What now?" He is curious about Jinmu's approach, recognizing that Jinmu's methods are unconventional but effective. Seeing Chengwu struggle, Jinmu decides to intervene. He steps closer and begins to teach Chengwu the proper technique to lift the boulder, guiding him step by step. Lower your posture, point your feet inward, touch the rock with your knees, and lift it. Jinmu's voice is calm but firm, his instructions clear and precise. Chengwu follows Jinmu's instructions, his movements initially shaky but gradually more confident. To everyone's amazement, he successfully lifts the boulder and throws it into the pond with a triumphant splash. The water ripples outward, a symbol of their collective effort and determination. Both of them are shocked, their stern expressions softening into ones of disbelief. There's no way. He's able to lift that boulder by changing his posture? Maybe I bet you're trying to figure out what just happened? Jinmu smirks, his eyes gleaming with satisfaction. When I touched his back, I channeled some energy, he reveals, his voice tinged with pride, but he doesn't want to reveal that trick to anyone. Jinmu and Chengwu celebrate the accomplishment, their bond strengthening through shared triumph. "We did it," Chengwu exclaims, his face glowing with happiness. But their victory is short-lived as they know more challenges await. Jinmu's mind is already racing ahead, thinking about the next steps. He declares, "Chungsang, just you wait. You're going to be punished a lot more." His words are filled with a mix of determination and a hint of dark humor, foreshadowing the trials to come. As Jinmu and Chengwu engage in lighthearted banter, Chengwu marvels at the deliciousness of the food, unable to resist its tempting aroma. Jinmu, always quick to capitalize on an opportunity, taunts Chengwu with the prospect of becoming stronger by eating meat. Despite Chengwu's initial hesitation, the thought of gaining strength outweighs his reservations. Jinmu slyly turns to Chungsang, offering him a piece of meat. His actions are bold, a direct challenge to the traditionalist stance of their sect. Chungsang, who has always followed the sect's commandments, finds himself at a crossroads. Jinmu's nonchalant behavior and enticing words make him question his own convictions. Chungsang, however, denies the request despite Jinmu's insistence that eating meat will make him even stronger than before. His resolve remains firm, despite the growing temptation. The scene shifts to a gathering of the sect's elders, who discuss the recent changes and their implications. The elders are divided. Some view these changes as necessary progress, while others see them as the beginning of corruption. An elder, with a solemn expression, reflects on the weight of their decisions. The introduction of meat into their diet is just the start, he fears. He imagines a future where more commandments are abolished, leading to further moral decay. The imagery of a once pure sect indulging in worldly pleasures such as alcohol and women troubles him deeply. His words echo the fears of those who resist change, clinging to the old ways in hopes of preserving their sect's purity. Jinmu, feeling the momentum of his small victory, resolves to push further. He envisions a grand plan to reshape the Wudang sect and, eventually, all of the orthodox sects. His mind races with possibilities as he contemplates the power he could wield. Determined to implement his vision, Jinmu knows he needs loyal followers. He looks at Chengwu, seeing potential in him, despite his current naivety. Jinmu decides that by grooming Chengwu and others like him, he can build a foundation of loyalists who will help him realize his ambitious goals. Jinmu asks Chungsang, "Why not duel with our chubby cheeks?" Chengwu, visibly nervous and filled with doubt, exclaims, "Wait, there's no way. Brother Chungsang is way too powerful for me." His voice quivers with fear as he faces the prospect of battling Chungsang, a seasoned warrior known for his mastery of the evasive cloud sword art. Chungsang stands tall, exuding confidence and skill. His calm demeanor contrasts sharply with Chengwu's panic. Jinmu, ever the strategist, steps in to reassure Chengwu. With a knowing smile and a confident tone, he declares, "Chengwu, you'll win." His words are firm and filled with conviction, aimed at boosting Chengwu's morale. Chungsang, with a stern expression, watches the exchange. His face reveals a hint of curiosity mixed with skepticism. He wonders what Jinmu's true intentions are and why he is so confident in Chengwu's abilities. Chunsang's smirk deepens, and he thinks to himself, the lowest of all the Chungs, Chungwu, who just started getting used to the techniques, will win against me, who has already mastered the charged sword. His confidence is palpable, but there's an underlying tension. Chunsang, noticing the confidence in Jinmu's demeanor, prepares himself. His focus sharpens, knowing that he must not underestimate his opponent. The scene is set for a confrontation that will test not only their martial skills, but also their mental fortitude. Chunsang says that he's capable of creating the Qi sword, and it's very difficult to fight him since Chungwu cannot wield a sword. It will practically be a sword versus fist fight. Do you still want me to fight him knowing all these? Do I look like a joke to you? He asks, his voice laced with contempt. To this, Jinmu thinks, Chunsang knows that he's a bit better than others, but he's stuck at the bottom of the rope and not growing any further. He responds aloud, yes, you look like a joke to me, his voice calm but with an edge that cuts through the air. The chapter ends with our chubby cheeks feeling sad and depressed about the duel that's going to take place, leaving the readers in suspense about the outcome of the impending clash.